So for day 10, we've been exploring a couple of things for our personal well-being, namely renting a house for a year and moving to Thailand. But that also led to, I've been mulling around this idea of well-being and a community, a living situation that is organized around well-being. And so that led to some sketches yesterday, because one of the Thais that I've met would like to partner with a foreign developer. And I've been a general contractor and done some land development. And I really love, my favorite thing is creating little places of beauty. And if I could, I would create Hobbiton. You know, that's kind of my dream. Which is really nothing quite as beautiful as little hobbit holes in Hobbiton that I've come across. However, the big challenge there is that I'm impatient. I don't speak Thai, and every single foreigner that I talk to who hires the Thai or the Burmese says the same thing. They don't show up when they don't feel like it, you know, and they don't have the same sense of reliability and stuff that is normal in the West, which is just fine on some levels, because I think that's why they're so happy. However, that's why I want to be here. However, I would be a miserable boss in that situation doing a big project. And so in my little mullings and meanderings, which I sometimes do just on intuition, you know, I start driving down this road and then it's like, no, and then I do a U-turn and I drive back again and I say, okay, where do I want to go? And of course, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm trying to follow this little scent. I call it a scent. So it took me down here and then down this little road, and lo and behold, there's a little condo set with built from containers, shipping containers. Now, I've been looking at this myself for over a year in odds and end ways, but here I'm seeing that unlike the United States, where it's just an endless amount of red tape, where I wanted to build in Marin County, I'm seeing them existing, which tells me that they are tolerated and, you know, a legitimate working structure, which they should be, because they're pre-engineered to hold more than 180 tons, because that's how they're stacked in ships. These are beautiful pieces of steel engineering. They're very inexpensive. But what I'm interested in is in the fact that they are pre-modulatable, meaning I can have one after another being prepared and trucked over and craned into place, fully built, A. Or I can prepare the base unit, meaning plumbing and electrical conduit and an and a waterproofed container that anyone can then build out from there. In other words, it's not like it's kind of a do-it-yourself kit, which I like even more, that idea, because again, people can save money, number one. Number two, they can do what they want. Number three, it reduces capital outlay. And number four, there can be more creative, and it provides an interesting opportunity for design. And number five, I don't have to hire Thais or Burmese to explain all my creative visions and then, tear my hair out when they do it, differently. And so it seems like a really great setup. And so, so anyway, I was just looking at how that might work, and one configuration, because one piece of land with the Thai person I've been chatting with is on a steep hill. And so it's one of the easiest things in the world is to get a 40-foot container and stack them side by side, but then stagger them for the next row and have maybe one stick out, like so, and and have them all stick out a little bit further as they stagger up the hill, so that there's basically this pattern here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 shipping containers all stacked with this bit, and then most of it buried. So you have the soil right here, so that they're not as ugly, number one. Number two, they don't get as hot in the Thai weather, so it doesn't need air conditioning the way that something out in the baking sun would, or at least that's optional. And so this is a very interesting concept here. And shipping containers cost around $6,000 US, which means that delivered and put in place in this scenario, we'd want to look at around $21,000, which after land is taken into account, about $31,000 US as a base unit with infrastructure. But that's a lot better than a lot of the situations around here. And this is not, when I say it's a lot better, I mean it's a typical thing will be maybe 3 to 9 million baht, or 90,000 plus for an individual unit. But what I'm really interested in is I want to help facilitate a community around well-being, so that this project would be called well-being, because that's its number one metric. Mental, emotional, physical well-being for the residents, with a commitment to one another's well-being. And that ties in with the app, how to work together as a group to facilitate well-being. And then everything about it, I want to organize along the lines of well-being. So it's just kind of an exciting project where a group of people can come together on the basis of committing to one another's well-being and have more freedom than normal and more resources and support than normal to help with that. It also works within the Thai legal system as a condo unit. So it's just quite a nice possible project. So I'm just simmering on this, and there's a lot that I'm not going into right here. About how the app works and what all the amenities and stuff is, and different designs in the land with so that bicycles can be used, and et cetera. But it's something that I'm interested in, and it's something that took a little step towards possibility. It's one of my dreams, and so that's most of my project for today. And going back to my comment before, the big challenge is always not getting too, just being aware that my excitement and my interest and my ideas are roughly 1,000 times bigger than I can personally do myself. And as a result, it's always a process of either, going slowly with one thing at a time, or even slower with multiple things simmering in the back burner, getting help, which is always welcome, and also just not doing, 99% of all the things that I set out to do. However, it's also, nice to be sharing some of these ideas with a wider audience, because the purpose is well-being, not to get rich or, focus on fame or anything like that. And so if anyone else takes any of the ideas that I don't get around to, or evolves them and stuff like that, so much the better. And we can work together as a global community to increase our well-being.